I'm so glad you came back. I'm Dr. Abha, and welcome to another installment of Culinary Karma. So we're going to make something spectacular today, and it's called Pakora. Pakora are deep-fried fritters that serve as an appetizer and a true party-pleasing, mouth-watering experience all over India. And if you go to an Indian restaurant, you might commonly choose the samosa, but I invite you to try Pakora if you never have. So let's get started. I'm going to take off my jewelry. We're going to use that ever-important pans as tools today. And I'm going to ask you to come in close. Let's start making the batter. So intrinsic to Pakora will be the formation of the batter. So I'm going to start with something called Besan. And Besan is chickpea flour. So let's start with 2 cups of chickpea flour. And if you have an Indian store nearby you, it shouldn't be a problem, or a Whole Foods, to locate chickpea flour, okay? And it's entirely rich in protein. And to this, we're going to add a couple of exceptionally important elements. One is the carom seed, or ajwain, and I absolutely love it. It imparts kind of a pungent flavor. And if you've ever had a caraway seed or cumin seed, they're part of the same family. So I'm going to go ahead and put a good teaspoon of carom seeds, or ajwain, into the batter. I'm also going to need salt. And when we measure salt, make sure you don't measure it in the vessel in case it comes pouring out, right? Just a little pearl. Let's go ahead and add a good teaspoon of salt to the 2 cups of besan. I've cooked with this often. This is that kasuri methi leaf, or the fenugreek leaves. So I'm going to crush, I'd say, a good tablespoon in there, okay? So to recap, 2 cups of chickpea flour, or besan, a teaspoon of carom, or ajwain seeds, a good tablespoon of crushed fenugreek, or kasuri methi. I'm going to put baking soda in this as well, but at the end, just before we fry. There's another exceptionally important element that goes into this batter, and it's a couple drops of warm oil, not cold oil. It's going to make your batter and your product that much crispier. And I just happen to have some warm oil here. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of oil, and that should do it. I've got my whisk handy, and let's get whisking. I'm going to add some other exceptionally important flavorful aromatics into the mix. I never travel anywhere without my masaladan, my culinary passport. So let's go ahead and take about a 1/4 teaspoon of Kashmiri lal mirch. Let's take some coriander powder. I'm going to take about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm also going to take a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. We've got a lot of different beautiful spices playing around in this playground here. So now we're going to add water to the batter, and I'm going to slowly whisk this. Some people will tell you to use a sieve with your chickpea flour to get out any impurities and lumps, and that's really a good thing to do. To the 2 cups of batter, you're going to add, starting with 1/2 cup of water. And come on close and you'll be able to see the consistency of this batter. And this is still quite lumpy, so I'm going to add more water. And just be patient, right? There's no hurry. And you'll see that the consistency of the batter is neither thin or thick. So kind of like if you're making a pancake batter, it has that kind of quality or caliber. Okay, I'm really liking this. And we're going to add some other aromatics. So we've got this cornucopia of yummies. I've got my cilantro, which you know I absolutely adore. I've got green chilies. I've got spinach and onions and even some peppers. I have potatoes, and I have cauliflower. We're going to make an absolute beautiful array of pakoras today. But all of them are going to have green dhania, or fresh cilantro, and some green chilies. You really want the flavors to pop, so don't skimp on flavor. And look at all these colors popping through. It's just so great in here. I'm going to taste this. A little more salt. So now we want to see if the oil is ready to take our pakora. So I'm going to take just a little bit, and the oil is not quite hot enough yet, so we'll give it a moment to get hot. You want to see that batter come rising to the top. The essence to pakora will be an absolutely ready, hot temperature oil. Take a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Add that right in there. We're going to start with an aloo pakora. Let's go ahead and place that right in here. And we've got cauliflower. I'm going to add some of my favorite ingredients. Let's put some onions in here and some spinach. Excellent source of iron, vitamins A, E, folic acid. And onions offer such a yummy, pungent flair that becomes sweet, right, when they're cooked. I'm liking the color on these, so I'm just going to go ahead and liberate them. They're kind of coming together, which is totally fine. Before we sample them, let's go ahead and put another batch in. I've got some tongs. So this is a mixture of onion and spinach, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop them in. You can hear a nice sizzle. That's a great sound. So just little dropfuls, if you will, and they're going to take on a shape and world of their own, and that's perfect. You don't want them to be uniform and the same. You know, even if their cooking points vary, you're going to keep an eye on each of them as little individual islands, as it were. All right, let's let those cook. And while we do that, this is the best part, isn't it? The sample. So what am I seeing? I see this gorgeous batter. Beautifully salted, beautifully spiced. Do you see that steam coming out of the pakora? Freshly fried. The cauliflower is so sweet, set against the savory nature of the batter, the chickpea flour. It's really, really great. This is so exciting. You can hear the sizzle in the fry, this beautiful pakora coming to life, a gorgeous brown hue on the exterior, and you know then it's going to be a crispy bite, which is what you want. So oftentimes pakora is dipped in a sauce, much like any culture, gochujang in Korea, and soy sauce in China and Japan, and in India we love our sauces too. We call them chutneys, and we're going to make a dhania or cilantro chutney today. So let's get started. I'm going to take a very generous amount of washed cilantro leaves and put that right in my blender, okay? I've included some of the stems, and that's okay. I have chopped up some green chilies that I think are pretty powerful, so let's see how spicy this gets. I've got lots of lime, so I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze in some lime juice. You love fresh limes. They offer such an aromatic and fresh citrusy flair, and it really becomes kind of requisite in the formation of the chutney. We're going to add some cumin seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and take a teaspoon of whole cumin. I'm also going to add a little bit of roasted cumin. And if you've never made roasted cumin, it offers a deep, earthy, generous flavor that is quite transformed from the original cumin seed. We're also going to need some salt. Half a teaspoon to start with. We can always add as we go. I'm not going to put onions in my chutney. There are some people who enjoy onion in their dhania or cilantro chutney, and obviously it's going to be a little more pungent. Sometimes the onions take over. It's not my favorite, so we're going to keep it pristine. Very few ingredients go in here. Now, if I had an unripe green mango, I surely would have added a few pieces of peeled green mango to this as well. All right, I'm just about done squeezing these limes. Let's see what happens. Can add a little bit of water just so the blades and the motor go. Oh, look at that color. It looks like leprechaun juice, doesn't it? It's so earthy. It's so fresh. I feel the pop of the green chili, but it's not overwhelming. There's salt, there's lime juice, and of course there's cilantro. And the most beautiful part, it's freshly made and it's ready to receive a hot pakora. I think it's time to get started with the tasting. And it's ready for presentation. I hope you're ready to have a cup of chai with me and some freshly made pakoras. And now we're ready for the absolute best part, the tasting. So were you to come to my home, I'd invite you for a cup of chai and some freshly fried pakoras and freshly made dhania or cilantro chutney. I'm gonna garnish your pakora with something really incredible. It's chaat masala. And I'm just gonna dust a little bit of chaat masala on top of the pakoras. It offers an incredible zip and a wonderful asset or flavor. You ready to taste this? Look how gorgeous that is. I'm gonna dip it in the chutney. Wow. So delicious, so earthy. That chutney is very special. And that pakora is so crispy. So many different flavor hues are brought to life. If you've never tasted gram flour or chickpea flour, you're really going to enjoy the pakora. It has such a robust flavor, all of its own. And then I'm getting hints of cilantro and hints of green chilies. Of course, the cauliflower that I just indulged in. Every single flavor note is amplified. And this is such a crowd pleaser. 2 cups of Besan or gram flour made enough for at least 5 or 6 people to enjoy generously. And of course, the longer the party lasts, the more you'll need to make. I invite you to join me every week as we delve into the myriad regions of lovely India. I'm Dr. Abha, and this is my Culinary Karma.